everyone to this evening online seminar called the Creative Indoor and Outdoor Activities to Boost Environmental Awareness. I hope you're all safe and well. And I'm really happy to introduce you our experts today, Zoe Theodosaki and Angeliki Kujuruki. The floor is yours. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Marta. Thank you for the support and the organization of this live event. Creative Classroom is here back with you to wish you today a happy Teachers' Day and be healthy. Let's welcome Zoe Theodosaki, expert talk, who is going to present us today the creative indoor and outdoor activities to boost environmental awareness to your students. Zoe Theodosaki has more than 12 years of experience in environmental education. She has worked with students of all ages and has also done numerous teacher training courses. Parallel to her work, she is currently doing a Master in Education for Sustainability at Aristotle University of Thessaloniki in Greece, and her dissertation topic is on values education and deep ecology. Mrs. Theodosaki, we are welcoming you to this Creative Classroom Group's online seminar, and the floor is yours.
Thank you. Hello, everybody.
Can you open, please, your microphone?
My microphone, I think it's not open. It's not on.
Okay. Yes, it is on.
Yes? You can hear me now.
It is a delay of the sound. It is a delay of the sound. Yes. Okay. Yes. Perfect.
Okay. So thank you very much for the invitation. I'd like to also greet all the people. I am surprised at this high attendance. I see so many participants, and it's. I have to admit that I am not very much at home with the platforms. I am used to holding seminars and workshops, getting in contact with the people. I'm much of an outdoor person, I have to say. So you will excuse me for my lack of IT skills. I'm not that comfortable, but together with your help, I think we will manage. All right. So to give you an idea of who I am, I'd like to share some photos that are from workshops that I usually give. So I am here today to share my experience on some creative ideas, as Angeliki said, on how to boost environmental awareness, things that tools and ideas and games that I have used in the past, and some of them I guess you might know, and together we will expand on these ideas. So I'd like your contribution and your feedback. And at certain points, I would appreciate interaction because, as I said, this is how I function. I see this small chat here. And at certain points, when I might be asking questions, asking for feedback, I'd like you to give it back, but take it a bit slow with me because I'm not that comfortable with the platform, all right? So let's start. So when we're thinking about environmental awareness, I have noticed my experience with teachers tell me that we have the best of intentions, but environmental awareness is not always that clear. So our target or our aim of what exactly we want to reach with our students is not always so clear to us. So let me attempt to draw a framework for you. Let's begin by drawing an analogy. Let's say we have a sick person. Okay, this person is suffering from headache, runny nose, and fatigue. You would say this person is sick. Now, if we attempt to deal with this person is anybody here now? I'd like your contribution. Are you familiar with holistic medicine and what it means? Does it say something to you, holistic medicine? I'd like to hear yes, no. I'd like to see that yes, we do. Otherwise, I will explain anyway. Yes. Not very much. Okay. So See the patient as a whole person. Yeah, that's the idea. All right. So a holistic healer or a holistic doctor would try to see the human as a system and would try to identify the cause of the disease and not the symptom. So, for example, if you go to a holistic healer and you tell him that I have a headache, they are not going to give you a pill for your headache because this is the symptom. They are going to ask why you have a headache, okay? And maybe the cause of the headache is your stress or is your fatigue. So they're not going to deal with a headache, but they're going to deal with the cause. They're going to deal with the stress. Are you hearing me? Are you with me? This is holistic approach. They see the human as a whole system, and a whole system is not only a body, is body, mind, and emotion. And this is very important to keep this, that holistic is body, mind, and emotion. We will need this further on. All right. So now we have the patient here. We have a sick planet. I guess you agree with me. And this planet has recently, around the 1960s, was the beginning of the environmental movement, because this is when, are you familiar with the work of Rachel Carson, by the way? Rachel Carson is an American woman who did a lot of research, and she exposed around the 1960s that there was serious water and soil poisoning in America and the US because of the pesticides that people were spraying in the forest and so on, and animals were dying and plants were dying and fish were dying, and this was the first, like, there's something wrong here. And the DDT then was banned, yeah? But we didn't solve the problem, because around the 1970s, now these dates are not exactly like that, because you understand there was a lot of research before that. There was pollution before that. With the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, there was pollution, but this is when it was like, it was coming out so big that people couldn't ignore it anymore. So around the 1970s, scientists said there's something wrong with our forests. Our forests are being destroyed because of what they called acid rain, the acidification of the atmosphere because of the heavy industries. And they put the filters in the industries. But the problem wasn't solved. Around the 1980s, they found another problem, another diagnosis, another disease. They found the ozone layer, which is in the upper atmosphere, was getting so thin that there was problem. It was causing problem. This was due to the CFCs, some gases called CFCs, and they said, no, we have to do something about it, and they banned the CFCs. In the 1990s, they talked about the greenhouse. Now we have to do something about the global warming. It's the greenhouse effect, blah, blah, blah. And after that point, after the year 2000, we are facing, every day, we are hearing about so many things going wrong in the planet, like loss of biodiversity. Why? Because of deforestation. Some species are becoming extinct and so on. We are finding microplastics in the food chain. And now the talk of the day is climate change. We have to fight climate change. We have to fight climate change. My question is to you. If you were a holistic healer, would you say that these are causes or symptoms? Symptoms. You would say causes. They are the symptoms. We are not treating the cause of the problem. We are treating the symptoms. It's like climate change is the temperature is rising of the planet. Planet is having a fever. Why? They are both connected, you are saying. But can you answer the why? We have to reach to the depths. Either we are treating, I'm telling you, if you have a headache, you can take a pill and the headache can go away for that day. But the next day you will have the headache again because you didn't treat the cause. Now, we are banning something, pesticides, we are getting CFCs. We are banning CFCs, we are getting acid rain. We are treating the symptoms and not the cause. Yeah, we'll get to that. Who is Daniela? We'll get to that. Little bit. Yeah. We do something wrong, Evangelia. Yeah. What do we do wrong? If these are the symptoms, now what's the cause? And I'm writing, be careful with your wording, because I saw recently an article. There is something that you are not allowed to say, and I will give you what that is. The Guardian published an article on the 27th of September saying that schools in England told not to use anti-capitalist material in teaching. So we cannot speak about this system that is causing the problem, but it's so obvious that if you go deep to the root of these symptoms, you will see that it is overconsumption. Yeah, human culture, the way we live, the way of life. The way of life is consuming too much. Yeah, consumerism, food production. Yeah. Fossil fuels. Let's see if even consumerism is a symptom or a cause. Consumerism is a word that in politics is okay, says the state of an advanced industrial society in which a lot of goods are bought and sold. So nothing. Advanced, we are advanced, we're buying, we're selling, we're good. But as in a social context, can you see below in the presentation, it's a disapproving word. The situation in which too much attention is given to buying and owning things. Too much. If you're an English teacher, you would say that too much is more than necessary, more than needed. Too is not the same as very. Too much means more than necessary. We are buying more. We give more attention than necessary, that we should, to buying and owning things. So consumerism is kind of the same as overconsumption, too much consumption. But is even consumerism a symptom or a cause? Why do I consume so much? Why do our cultures and our societies are dependent so much? Now we want to get more into the root, closer to the cause. Why? Yeah, consumerism is overbuying and overproducing. I quite agree with you. I can't follow all the chat, you understand? But if I catch some comments, if you want, you can. We don't think about the future, you're saying. We are guided to do that. Any other idea? Why are we buying so much? Why? Because of the progress of technology like this. Technology doesn't tell you that you should buy, does it? Too much to offer. Yeah, they offer, but do you have to buy it? Advertisements. We want a comfortable life. Now we want a comfortable life. We are led to believe, we don't think about our future. We are led to believe, first of all, that you need a comfortable life. So this is kind of a value system. We are led to believe that the more you have, the more important you are. This is, again, a value system. Yeah? Competition is also within our values, and being selfish is also within our values. Are you going where I'm getting? It's an addiction. No, I wouldn't agree that it's human nature. No, I wouldn't. Human nature can be a lot of things. We have humans all over the planet, and not all of them are over-consuming. So what I'm getting at is that when we want to say that we are aiming for environmental education, what we are aiming at really is to raise awareness on our value system. The value system, what are the values that you are leading into your life, to go through life? So what are your beliefs? What do you think is good? And do you think competition is good? Do you think that having a lot of things makes you more important? This is our value system. And if we are aiming for the cause of the disease, we have to go right there into the value system of the students. And we have to show them different perspectives, to view things in different perspectives. For example, I have my needs, but the other people have their needs also, or other animals, or the plants, or other beings have their needs. And to promote anti-consumerism or reduction of consumption, if we want to aim for sustainability, and if we have a really high aim, it would be to shift the value system from anthropocentric towards ecocentric. And I can explain with a very well-known scheme. that this is anthropocentric, that man, and when I say man, I mean man, because this is also linked to the patriarchal system, yes? Man is at the top of everything and feels that they have right to own everything towards, and if we can change this towards this, towards, I'm not saying that we can go there, but we can try to go towards this direction, towards more equality, towards being within and part of the ecosystems rather than on top of them. Am I making sense so far? I see you're writing a lot of things. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I can't follow everything, I'm sorry, in the chat. So, yeah. All right. Thank you. So, now, we are educators. We are aiming for this kind of education that we call environmental education. How do we go there? How do we achieve that? If we are aiming for a holistic solution, we need a holistic kind of learning. And holistic kind of learning is that involves the physical, the body, the intellectual, and the emotional. In other words, holistic learning addresses the mind, the body, and the emotion. And in even other words, we work with the students on 3 levels. We offer knowledge, we offer sensitization, emotion, and we offer action. Yeah? So we need to work on these 3 levels. The question is how? How can I work on these 3 levels? We have tools for that. And this is where the activities come in. Things that emote, things that touch, in other words, touch the heart of the whole person. Holistic is a Greek word, by the way. It's like holistic coming from whole, addressing the whole person. So things that emote or motivate the whole person. I think we are well aware of that. It's the games, it's the arts, it's the theater, it's the senses, it's the myths, and then it's action. We want to offer this kind of education that will involve the whole body of our students, not just the left brain. We sometimes, the school usually focuses on just the left brain only, logic, write down, read, and so on. We want to involve the whole body. We want it to be fun. Joy and laughter make somebody emotionally involved. We want to involve them in dialogue and democratic procedures because this is what helps the person grow. We want to make them change the perspective. Yeah? Change the perspective means see things from a different viewpoint, not from the top, but from somewhere else. And we want them to start thinking about solutions rather than offer them ready-made solutions. All right? I'm trying to read on the chat also. We have to change their values. Always people needed things. Not really changed. But Athanasia, if you allow me, we have not changed our values, but this is what we're aiming at, aren't we? If we don't aim for something, we have not. Yeah, but maybe the next generation we can be optimistic if we treat them. Yeah. Christina, yeah, thank you. So I will present these categories of activities to you. I will present some activities that I have implemented already and share these with you. And then we can have, meanwhile, we can have a discussion on how to, I don't know, how to adjust these into your own school environment. So when I say games with sticks, stones, and cards, I'm talking about games that you can play using very simple material. Natural material if you go outdoors, like very simple stuff, and cards that you can carry with you, maybe because my mind always thinks outdoors, and outdoors can be your schoolyard, or can be a park nearby, or just to get the body to move together with the mind, because we are not only mind, we are body and mind and emotion, we are everything together, and they have to function at the same time, as I said. So as simple as that. Now, for example, instead of, this is a concept map, yeah, instead of just drawing a concept map on the paper, we put it on the ground. And this is from a seminar with teachers. And let's say I want to teach about waste management. So the idea goes like this. I divide the students into like 4 different categories to talk about 4 different materials: the plastic, the metal, the paper, and the glass. Yes? And I give them a pack of pictures like this is about the metal. I give them these pictures, and I tell them, could you please put the pictures in order on the ground, because they're going to be big. So the group gets together and tries to put them in an order, and it should look like that from the beginning, from the natural resource, from the beginning of the natural resource, to the transportation of it, to the processing of it, to the making a can, to the consuming, and to waste. Yeah, well done, they did it. Now let's play a game. Let's imagine that we have the whole of the groups. Yeah, the groups spreading their cards as they have fixed them on the ground, one next to the other. And these little black things are stones. And the stones stand for natural resources. I say, these are your resources that you are using. And whenever I say I want something, it means that I consume some of the natural resources that are used for the packaging. So I want some biscuits, I say. So 2 stones are going to move simultaneously, because biscuits are usually in a plastic package and in a paper package. So 1 moved, 2 moved. Oops. And then I want a Nintendo. Nintendo is also something, I don't know why this is moving so fast. Okay, Nintendo is also something that you wrap, the packaging is also plastic and paper. So again, plastic goes, paper goes. And then I say, or I have some of the children say, what do you want? What do you wish for? What would you like? I want some soda. Oops, soda. It's in an aluminum can. So metal goes. And it goes like that. I want. And in the end, my resources are depleted. Yeah, I'm finished. And then I say, now what? And then we move to the next. You ask them to get together and find solutions. Say, this is getting us nowhere. Our resources are finished. Can you please draw a different line of events, let's say, to make the metal not disappear, so that you have for the next day, and so on. So you guide them, find solutions to avoid resource depletion, and draw every step in detail. This is important because children will say, yeah, recycle, but they don't know how do you recycle. For example, what are the steps towards recycling? It's not that easy. You have to take it to a special place, and then it has to be sorted out, and then it has to be transported, and then. So there are different steps. And if you put into these, if you add next to these stones, if you add some sticks and say, this is your energy, for example, for transportation, for industry, then you see that maybe recycling is okay, but I use a lot of energy. Maybe I can find, and then you ask them more and more questions. Maybe you can find a better solution. Yeah, recycling is a solution, but can you think something that wastes less energy? Can you draw something else? Can you think of something else? Until you get them to think about less consumption, so that these black stones do not finish. We have to play this game where the black stones do not finish in the end. We are left with them. All right? So you are guiding them. They are drawing, they're playing the game, and through conversation, you guide them into how many alternatives do you have? What is the impact of each of the alternatives that you are suggesting? That you are the one that with your choices, you are making these resources get depleted, finish, and so on. Thank you, Angeliki. Oh, thank you, Athanasia. Thank you. So you're getting the idea of the. I hope I'm being clear, yeah, because this is something that only by playing it can you understand how exactly it's played. And now I'm trying to, but I'm sure that you are experienced teachers, so you will you can grasp it, and you can. All right. Yeah, now my question, even if we teach remotely, we can do it as well. You mean do it online, play it online? Uh-huh. Now I'm learning from you. Now I am learning from you. So the question is, Angeliki, are you going to pose this question?
Sorry for interrupting. Yes, sorry for interrupting you, dear Zoe. I was thinking that this activity could be also played indoors because a lot of schools are not, a lot of students are not at schools these days, and the teachers have to teach remotely, so they can teach them all these things remotely.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Okay,
Okay, I can
you
learn
can
from you
go on.
because I don't
Thank you,
really have
and
this.
sorry for the interruption.
I was going to suggest, no, this is just on time, because I was going to suggest that if you feel that you can take this idea and you can adjust it to other topics, then we can start sharing. Angeliki?
Yes, I will start sharing the tri-sider that we created for the meeting. Just give me a second. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and
I
this
have
is
to.
the link where you
Okay.
can add your ideas and uh, um,
Mm-hmm. So I
I
need to
couldn't hear you very well. Can you repeat it, please? Because the sound comes and goes.
All right. I was going to say that I have to admit in front of all of you people that this is the first, today was the first time I heard that there is such a thing as tri-sider. I told you I am like computer low literacy, say not no literacy, but very low. So I really admire you for knowing all these things and being able to use this. Yeah, okay. Start sharing these ideas in the tri-sider then. So can I go on? Now, something that we all know, yes, role play is a very, very powerful tool, and it can take a lot of forms. It can be like totally free, with you handing out the roles and they improvising everything. It can be totally guided depending on your age, depending on the level, depending on the knowledge, because sometimes you have a scientific topic and you have to give them in a paper the scientific data so they can have arguments. Or sometimes you have already taught the topic and the role play is for you to test, do they know the arguments? Do they have the theory behind it to back up their roles? So the beauty of the role play is that you're letting people, the children, see things from a different perspective. They change perspective. They're not themselves, they are somebody else, or they can be something else. For example, in this particular role play that we have, where is it? It's here. In this particular role play, the instruction is let's be a food web. If you see that all of the students are wearing cards in front of them, and each card stands for an animal or a plant, which is part of an ecosystem, part of a food web. And then if you see these strings, they are connected. Through their food relationship. Who eats who? As simple as that. And as soon as they are connected, they can start being this and talking through this. Like, I'm a duck, I can talk from a duck perspective. I am a leaf, I can talk from a leaf perspective. This is totally change of perspective. I told you, from anthropocentric to ecocentric. And of course, this is something that can be a whole theater and can involve the whole body. Emotionally, you are there, which is the whole meaning of education. You are leading them into democratic dialogue and into problem solving, as long as you are not in your traditional, I'm going to say this a million times, not in your traditional role as teacher, but you act as a facilitator. You're on the side. You don't take space. You offer the space for the dialogue, because we teachers, we tend to forget that a lot of times. Yes. And Let me give you another idea, which I find I use it because we are next to a river, and we are using this to talk about using the resources and sharing resources. So I have a big piece of paper, and it stands for a river. So because we live next to a river, and I'm sharing a common resource is the title. So I will cut this paper into as many pieces as I want groups. So I want 8 groups here. I will cut it in 8 different groups. Cut it. And each group will get one piece. And they are told that this is their piece of land. This is where they live, and this is where they have to find a way to survive, to do any kind of business that they would like to. They want to be farmers, they want to be hotel owners, they want to be fishermen, they want to be whatever. So they have to draw it, but they have to draw all the details of this activity. So if you want to draw a hotel, you have to think about the road that will bring customers in. You have to think of your waste. How will you get your food? And so all the details, not just draw a hotel and leave it there. Think about the details of your everyday life. There is the instruction, all right? So they discuss into the groups what they want to do. They draw it on that piece of paper in the smaller groups, okay? And then they get together and they put the pieces together. And now we have the river with its inhabitants. So they start a discussion. They see what their neighbor is doing, and they see if their neighbor is actually helping their own business or creating problems to their own business. If they feel that they are, for example, if somebody wants to be a fisherman and next to them there is a hotel owner and the waste goes into the river, the fisherman is going to say, hey, you are polluting my river and I want to fish from here. And the hotel owner says, well, I have to make money. I have to bring customers in. What do you suggest? And so on. So this is like, if you try this activity, give it a lot of time, because it will create a lot of conflict, but this is good. So the only rule that you have to have is like one person talking at a time. This is the only rule. And then you can let it go on for the rest of the day, because you have to tell them you have to reach a consensus. You have to reach, about peace, about living together, about sharing, and about thinking about other people's needs as well. Because this is like, I cannot do anything I want in this world because I have neighbors, and everything I do affects the people that live next to me. So I have to think twice. And I have to negotiate, and I have to these justice, all of these values and ideals will necessarily come out in this, because they will come out different people out of there. So this is a great activity. You can do it with high school. You can do it with primary school as well. Yeah, but you have to like put in some hints. If it's with smaller children, you have to give them more hints, like if you go next, because they will have a simple drawing. Did you think about this? For example, they build a cafeteria. Well, did you think about your toilets, where your water is going to go? Think about that. Did you think about the road? Do you think about parking space? How many people are you expecting? And so on. All right. So this is my other idea. Thank you for your positive feedback. I appreciate it. And you can add your ideas in the Tri-Sider, as Angeliki says. Tri-Sider, new word for me. And I'm sure you're all familiar.
Sorry for interrupting you, Zoe. Sorry for interrupting you, but the Tri-Sider is being fulfilled because the creative teachers here who are having today their honor day are always they are keeping on adding ideas and voting for the best one. We are going to see the Tri-Sider at the end of the event, so be patient and add your ideas there. Share them with us.
Okay, fantastic. Happy to hear that. All right, so another category of activities that you can do, but I'm sure this can only be done outdoors, or you can surprise me, is what we call deep nature connection. There is a theory that we care and we respect and we protect something that is close to our heart. something that is close to our heart. So it is important to bring young people, or any people in that matter, any age, everybody, bring to close contact with nature, contact, observation, appreciation, bring them in many ways to open up their senses towards this, and to feel more at home, because children nowadays don't feel at home, feel nature is something out there, far away, dangerous, obscure, unknown, and so on. You have to make them familiar, intimate with it, and cultivate the sense of wonder. The sense of wonder is an expression that I like, but I'm keeping it to you for the end. It's something that Rachel Carson said. This is going to be our we need outdoor activities as well, yeah, don't we? So, category of sensory experiences is when I take, because I do take students outdoors, this is my basic job. I have them taste new things, herbs, for example, green things they don't know. Try it, eat it. First we talk about the poisons, and then we talk about the edible ones. Yeah, smell things, get new smell, touch. This is the river that I was telling you about. Yeah, and yeah, great activity. Thank you. And for example, this is a very well-known activity. Like one of them is blindfolded, the other one leads them towards a tree. And I'm going to say this in case you don't know it, although a lot of teachers know that. So they get in couples. One of them is blindfolded, and the other person guides them towards a tree. Okay, they let them feel the tree with closed eyes, feel it, and then they remove them, take them back to the original place. They take out the blindfold and they say, can you find this tree? And they have to orientate themselves and try to recognize, but what was it that I was feeling when I couldn't see? And like 98% of the cases, they find the tree, and then they feel very close to that. Oh, this is my tree. Okay. And so on. And this is a great activity also for, besides the intimacy and the connection, it's also intimacy with the people, because you need strong collaboration and trust. The person who is blindfolded needs to trust their friends. So you're building relationship with your students as well. Yeah, you played it a lot of times. I know. So next one. This is for observation, like how many different colors can you find? And have like a small card and fill it up with, as the instruction is, what is the greatest variety of colors that you can put in a small piece of paper? And believe me, they can, but first you have to start watching for the simple things, for the small things that you wouldn't notice otherwise, because you go noticing for small detail, and this opens up your vision. And after that, believe me, I have heard it from students that they say, I started observing after that. I started seeing things that I didn't see in the past. This activity, you're saying more adaptable to small ones, making it interesting. Yeah, believe me, these in the pictures are senior high school students. They are 15 to 16 years old, and see how they are enjoying doing this. So don't be afraid to do it with older students. They are thirsty for such activities because people consider them old, whereas they're not. And even if I do it with teachers in teacher trainings, even them get excited with it. And another, let's say, close to that is when you take a white piece of cloth and you spread it on the ground. You put them in groups, and the group has to decide on making a collective drawing using natural material. They have to decide, they have to implement, they make it, it's perfect, we admire it, and then we have to say goodbye. That's why I say ephemeral art. We have to say goodbye to it, because in nature everything flows and everything you can't keep it in your home because it's natural material. Natural material disintegrates and becomes earth again, and the cycle continues. So besides this wonderful activity that you have to observe small things, that you have to collaborate, that you have to make it into fine work of art, your emotion, your body, your mind, everything is working. You get this message that nothing lasts forever. And you have to not be attached to things, admire them and letting them go. It's the message behind it is great. Right, the importance of reflection. Now, if you lead children into such activities like working with the senses and you leave it as that, this is job half done, half. Why? Are you familiar with Kolb's cycle of experience? Kolb's cycle. You must have heard this. Yeah? Yeah. That an experience, in order for an experience to be integrated, incorporated, to become mine, I need to reflect on it afterwards. Reflection is what creates this I'll give you a very rough example. They take me outdoors, yeah? I see the beautiful river, for example. I go back home and I say, wow, being next to the river is wonderful because it relaxes me. River is relaxing for people. This is the abstract concept. And then I'll go to the river again. I will repeat that. All right. This is the completion of the cycle. So the reflection is something that happens in the individual, no matter what we will reflect on things. But if you reflect within the group, it's 100% more powerful than reflecting on your own. So please, after the experience, get them together in a circle. And in this circle, allow time for them to say, how did you feel? How was it for you? What did it do to you? Because you will get, of course, each person will have a different thing to say. Each of them will have a different reaction, but the combination of all of these reactions creates a richness for the whole group. So group reflection is the other 50% of the sensory experience. Without this, it is only half. Yeah? Yeah, we do a lot of like touching and feeling it, and then we leave it at that and they say, okay, goodbye, go home now. And they are happy because they are excited and they can't so easily sit down. But like sitting, getting together in a circle and like, how are you feeling right now? What did it do to you? Please allow time for that. It's really, really important. Reflection right afterwards. Yes, reflection should be right afterwards because this is when the impression is fresh. And don't rush the reflection. But even if you don't have time, sometimes I don't have time and they have to go because they come visiting to us. Yes. And we have walked along the river and they are like in this great mood and so on. We get together in a circle. We don't have time and say, please give me 3 words on how you are feeling right now, on your emotion. At least that. Thank you, Johan. I appreciate that. Yeah, nature-human relation also, yeah, all of that. Okay, activism. Activism is a word that has sort of like a negative connotation because we're thinking of people who tie themselves in trees or they bomb trucks that carry wood and so on, because all of this has happened in the past. I'm not talking about this kind of activism. I'm talking about the students taking initiative and having an opinion. Activism is like, I have my opinion that I want to share with the world, my opinion. I have to make it known. I have to make it public. I have to let other people know what I know. So for example, to create a poster, but not for the school, create a poster and put it all over the city, for example, or writing a letter or writing an article to the public newspaper, going into television, all things like that. These are activists, like going around and asking people, giving leaflets, and let me inform you, this kind of thing. Connect them to the real world. Like, we are small people, but we have knowledge, we have opinion, and we want to share with the world. Or even, I'm saying here, activism. There is nothing more activist than starting a garden in your school. This little boy here, he came into one of our programs, and it was the first time that he saw a herb garden, and he was so impressed by it. There was we visited a woman who is growing herbs, and she does this professionally, right? And he was so impressed by this, and he was so inspired that he said that I am going to my grandfather. I will ask. We have like these fields that I know that I'm going to inherit. I want them now, and I'm ready to start a business. And he was really determined about that. This little boy. I don't know what he did eventually, but he was like, I'm going to my grandfather to ask for that. But there is a trap here. There is a trick. Sometimes we teachers, we tend to force children, or to persuade children, or to put children forward to do what we think is right. So let's make a poster for this. But this is not their need. This is my need. And I am like of manipulating children in this way. Any kind of activism should arise from their heart's desire that I want to tell the world. They have to reach that where it is their need to go and spread the word. And of course you help them. You're, again, teachers act by their side as facilitators and not in the traditional role of the teacher who is on top. So you get together a group, you talk about things, you do things, and you're saying, well, do you have any ideas now? What would you like to do with that? Are you ready to speak to the world? Yes, we are. How would you like to speak to the world? What would you like to say? And so on. Okay. Yeah. Critical thinking and initiative. Initiative is very important. Like, don't take them by the hand to do things. They have to take initiative. You understand the word initiative, everybody, I guess. So, myth now. Why is myth more important than a text, for example? You can give information with a text, with a let me read to you the facts, and you can give the same facts through a myth. But if you give plain facts, the left brain will function. If you give them through a myth, the two brains will function together, the logic and the imagination, the analysis and the intuition, everything will function together because the myth is so powerful. Here I have some pictures from a project we did during my last year in the MA. We had the topic, the subject was theater and education. So me and a fellow student, we prepared a fairy tale that had a witch. You can see the witch, and the witch was talking about herbs. And we brought through the story, there was this girl that she had these problems, and she found the witch, and she was a good witch, and she gave her all these things to make her healthy and so on and so forth, and she became like young and fresh and everything again. And then after all, you see, I have my black pot there. And after this, we said that you can also be witches. You have to go through some procedures. You have to prove that you know this and you know that. And if you remember the names of the herbs and so on, we will give you a magic wand. And you see in the final photograph, everybody got a magic wand. Everybody got to throw the herbs in the magic pot and prepare this magic potion. And we all drank herbal tea round this fire. And we all talked about this experience and we got this initiation. I use it in my language classes. The myth, you mean? Yeah. Great. So the myth is your vehicle for giving facts, bringing facts, and also the myth is your vehicle for presenting, for introducing values, because the heroes are important. If the hero is important, what the hero does is something that the children will absorb as that is the right kind of thing to do. A garden, park, myths are a wonderful tool. Yeah, it's amazing. And if you can combine it, I had this honor of my fellow student being a great musician, and they were improvising magic spells. So they were saying something, and he was taking it and making it into a small song, and they were chanting the spells, and it was really, really powerful with the music. So if you have this kind of person, make use of them. Also, yeah, creating this sense of adventure will also create this intimacy in nature, and creating this sense of wonder. Actually, this is going to be we can involve other subjects to the curriculum, meaning yes, yeah, the music is really powerful. Yeah, languages. Yeah, you can teach words, you can teach vocabulary, you can teach values, mainly because when my topic is environmental education, I'm very interested in teaching values. All curriculum can be, yes. ICT, Athanasia. I don't know why. Yeah, ICT as well. Everything. With mobiles. Oh my. You have so many ideas. Mm. Right.
Athanasia, sorry for interrupting. Athanasia is an ICT teacher and a science teacher as well, so that is her idea about involving all the subjects of the curriculum and especially ICT and mobile apps. I think she can manage to do environmental education and ICT in a very
Yeah.
creative way. It will be a challenge, Athanasia. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. It's my weak spot. ICT is my weak spot. That's why I'm like reacting. I'm have this phobia over. I have to overcome this. Yes. Right. So as a last slide, you see these children how happy they are climbing and getting and getting in touch with the elements and this is Rachel Carson in this picture. I told you in the first slide that Rachel Carson is the woman who wrote the book published in 1962 called Silent Spring, and this was the beginning of the environmental movement in the United States because it caused so much like, wow, what is going on here? Talking about the poisonings and the pesticides and so on. So Rachel Carson was a marine biologist, a scientist, a very serious scientist, but she also had this adoration for children and nature. She had the pedagogue, the teacher in her. So I would like to read together with you this passage that I feel so inspiring. It talks about parents, but we can talk about any adult being in the place of parent, can be teachers. She says, if I had influence with a good fairy who is supposed to preside over the christening of all children, I should ask that her gift to each child in the world be a sense of wonder, so indestructible that it would last throughout life, as an unfailing antidote against the boredom and disenchantments of later years, the sterile preoccupation with things that are artificial, the alienation from the sources of our strength. If a child is to keep alive his inborn sense of wonder without any such gift from the fairies, he needs the companionship of at least one adult. This is you, who can share it, rediscovering with him the joy, excitement, and mystery of the world we live in. I sincerely believe that for the child and for the adult seeking to guide him, it is not half so important to know as to feel. This is the emotion coming in. If facts are the seeds that later produce knowledge and wisdom, then the emotions and the impressions of the senses are the fertile soil in which the seeds must grow. The years of early childhood are the time to prepare the soil. Once the emotions have been aroused, a sense of the beautiful, the excitement of the new and the unknown, a feeling of sympathy, pity, admiration, or love, then we wish for the knowledge about the object of our emotional response. Once found, it has lasting meaning. It is more important, she says, to pave the way for the child to want to know than to put him on a diet of facts he is not ready to assimilate. It can be a bit complicated, that text, but she insists on the cultivation of the emotion before giving the fact. And this is a thing that we tend to forget sometimes. This is why the sense of wonder, like, make sure that first you get them emotionally involved, either interested, excited, curious, and then they will want to know for more. The knowledge of the feelings, yes, yes. So I hope to meet you in such a circle one day, any of you, because this is I love this way of being. And thank you very much for your participation and your attention. Thank you for your positive feedback. Thank you, Nicoletta, Evangelia, Thanasia, Ludmila, Umut. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't know. What are we going to do now? Questions or
I
a
would like to
tri-sider?
thank you also. Yes, yes, the tri-sider. We can stop sharing the presentation and we can share the screen for the tri-sider, and we can have a discuss here about the ideas that many of you wrote in the tri-sider. Give me a second to stop sharing the screen. Then the presentation, I will start sharing the screen and see what you wrote in the tri-sider. Yes, the presentation, the whole online seminar was is being recorded until now, and it will be until the end of this event. And then once I have it, I will. Once I have the recording, I will share it with you in the group's page, and I will send the mail, not in personal mail, but a message through the twin board. So let's see what the tri-sider has for the moment, and you feel free to add your questions here in the chat box. These are the ideas. You can read it, Zoe.
Okay,
Can you see them?
I have to understand what's going on here now. Yeah, it says like QR codes related both to nature and school subject. Find something round and green and then describe it. Okay, yeah, I can see. Fast fashion, I don't understand.
Okay. If Thekla is with us, she can share what she wanted to say with fast fashion. And I think that her idea has most of the votes here. Then comes also the pollination, decrease of insects and identification.
Yeah,
I
pollination
think
as a topic.
yes,
Pollination is fantastic as a topic to talk about it.
as you can see, Thekla, Zoe, Thekla.
And if
And Thekla says here
all
that
right,
how
yeah, how
fast
it harms the
fashion harms
environment.
the
Yes,
environment.
yes. Regarding pollination, we played a game with bees, and because bees are so important, this is a role play that you can play. It's an idea that you can. The children are the bees, and they are holding a small cup, and the cup has like a little bit of water, but a hole on the bottom, and they run, and they have to reach the flower before they run out of water, because this is where the nectar is gone, and they die. So if we use pesticides and the flowers disappear, then the bees have a problem. This is like they die one after the other. So you can, being in the place of a bee that is having hard times in this moment is a role play that you can play, and they can this is the change of perspective that I was telling you. This is a great idea for a game. Pollination and the decrease of insects. Yes, the symptoms and the causes. Yes, also why are the bees dying? What happens to wildlife and to wild plants and
Okay,
so on?
then it is the idea.
Storytelling, yeah, storytelling about recycling and material of the journey of the material. Yes, the topic of agriculture and food consumption. Yeah, recycling. I see you're talking. Can I make a comment regarding recycling? You can hear me, yes? Yeah, I would like to make a comment
Yes, of
regarding
course.
recycling. Whenever we talk about recycling, we have to think that it's the
Yes,
third
yes.
solution, not the first one. So I would guide my students not toward recycling, but toward less consumption, because this is the first solution. First is reducing, as you well know, not buying so much. The second is reusing, and the third one is recycling, because I make sure I tell them that recycling also uses energy in transportation, uses energy in industry. Let's not be so easy on recycling. Let's guide them towards the cause of the disease. And the cause of the disease is our buying too much. And this is totally connected with waste management. Yeah? So I wouldn't talk about recycling so much as reducing.
Okay.
To restore the water road, many people put more substances to water management.
Then it comes lead students to think about different ways
Yeah,
to
different ways
produce
to
food.
produce food. Food production is important because we are so like this is the basis of our existence. Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And the water is also very important to restore the water, to go to the roots, go back to the roots. Food production, where water comes from, is going back to the roots. To use minimal resources, quite agree with you. Buying, yeah, quite agree with you. Use minimal resources. Did I lose something? No, reduce, recycle. Yeah.
Okay, these are the ideas that have been added in the tri-sider. Yes, we read them all. It will be open for you to add your ideas, make your comments, or vote the ones that you like the most. And here is the link. Um, if you have no other question or comment to do, we would like to thank very much Mrs. Zoe Theodosaki, who was here with us today to this online seminar. Thank you very much for accepting the Creative Classrooms group presentation. In this special day, Teachers' Day, I think that it was an offer to them, a gift to them, this online seminar. And we hope that you will be able
Thank you
to
very
meet
much
us
for giving me
again
this
in
opportunity.
the future.
Honestly, it was like a baptism for me, an initiation, because I haven't done this before, and it was really, really interesting and exciting to be exchanging with so many. Sorry if I lost a lot of your comments and I couldn't attend everybody. Next time, I promise I will be better in that. But it was it was a great experience for me as well. So thank you very much. And for the nice words that I'm reading.